think the most amazing feeling is that the streets are much quieter. Apart from the, the cheers and the screams and the sort of the delight of all the people cycling, there's not that ambient traffic noise. We're getting a few families and people who are just interested, and people coming along to see what the hell's going on, and they're realising their own deep concern for the city, and there aren't many forums for expression of that concern. So I think we're getting a lot of people coming along to Critical Mass because they see it as one way that they can stand up and wave and say, well, we're doing something to offer an alternative, to show a different way of life.
I'm sitting in the middle of a bunch of flyers related to Critical Mass from different places. What is this? I think that's from England somewhere. Here's LA, Chicago. Here's New York City. This one is, hey look, it's Grateful Mass, which is very much, it owes a lot of its graphic stuff to the Grateful Dead albums and their whole scene, and this was put out after Jerry Garcia, the guitar player for the Grateful Dead, after he died up in Marin, and many people were sad. And he was an icon here in San Francisco, and the Critical Mass that took place after he died, one of the route proposals was this Grateful Mass going out to Golden Gate Park. And it was one of many proposals, and it was voted on, and it won. This was me learning how to use CorelDRAW on the PC, and I discovered the blend fill tool, and I made all these little triangles coming out of this guy's head. I made him on his bicycle in a wave. We were going to try to take the Critical Mass all the way out to the beach, which it hadn't been that far yet, and it went out to the beach. This is the second anniversary. We're at about 800 strong or so, maybe upwards of 1,000. It shows the crowd, as we've obviously taken about 4 city blocks here, solid wall-to-wall bikes. These are examples of little stickers and little things that come out, and people hand these out at Critical Mass all the time. They do them for their own reasons, and they hand them out, and it's great to see. This is a 1/100th of the things that I've seen, if that. This is one that came out in Halloween. I think the good time nature of Halloween and Critical Mass goes hand in hand, and every Halloween ride has been great.
Yeah, hit it! Play it again! I'll drink to that!
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
It's a good witch! She's on a bicycle! I want candy!
Candy, candy!
You blouse-wearing poodle walker!
Excuse me, your car needs a tune-up.
I don't know what's the problem. And I don't care. My car, I can do whatever I want to.
Go home!
Oh, yeah,
And hold the mushrooms, extra anchovies!
We've done something that we think is a demonstrably preferable way of going about moving our bodies through the city. And not everybody can make that decision at every moment, and it's really absurd to assume that they can. People in cars are our allies. They really are. Anybody who's riding in a car is essentially a victim of the oil and automobile industries, as we have been and will be again in our lives. And they're the ones who are finally going to have to be won over if we're really going to change this world. Because they're not the enemy, they're the people they're us. They are us.
We weren't there to inconvenience people, not to shove the misery of their Friday commute in their face, not to disturb public transit riders or to make the ordeal of driving home on Friday afternoon more unpleasant. But we were, and some people saw that But a lot of people just saw the immediate reaction like, what are these stupid bicyclists doing on the road? This is ridiculous.
Kind of ridiculous. I mean, waiting for traffic, trying to get through.
It's a drag.
My opinion is I love it.
As far as the bikers messing up the city, no, lock them up, take away their bikes. No, can't break the law. It's not there. It's not, they don't own it, neither do the cars.
We just get a broad range of people, but I think by and large people liked us.
The second period of time was when the police got involved, and that was a big transition. As we were going up Market Street, somebody tried to push through the crowd in their car, and there was a confrontation. So when the police got involved, it changed everything, and the police got involved simply because of that confrontation. They decided to accompany the ride from then on.
When the cops showed up, they created this barrier, this membrane between the mass and the rest of the world. And what used to happen is we would pass out flyers to people going by to try to tell them what's going on and invite them to the situation. And what they did is they shut us off from the rest of the world. They made us into this kind of anomaly, this parade. And people perceived the situation also, which I thought was even worse, is that we wouldn't be safe unless the cops were there. That it was for our benefit. It was that there would be some horrendous collision or carnage if the police were not there. That we were incapable of creating safe streets by ourselves, which is completely untrue.
Hey, what's up, Cash?
Hey, they did this. I hold them fully responsible. Because there were cops, because they were angry, they made people angry. Because people got angry, somebody got out of hand, and because somebody got out of hand.
That guy wasn't even out of hand.
What happened? Somebody got arrested.
He got arrested for making an illegal left turn. He was in the wrong lane, and he pulled the turn.
Okay.
If you don't pick up the pace, you'll be issued a citation for impeding traffic. You better move on. You better move on.
I'm moving.
You're not fast enough. You better move on. You're impeding traffic. Then get out of the ride.
In the months before the July '97 ride that got so much national attention for the San Francisco critical mass, there were thousands of riders, and very few of those riders were activists, and very few of those riders knew what was happening with the rides. Very few of them had any information about how they could participate in guiding the rides in one way or another. It wasn't like the first few rides, the first dozen rides, where people brought flyers saying, this is what I think should happen in critical mass, and this is where we should go next time, and what do you think about this, and let's talk about that.
Since we don't really have a route tonight, how about a destination where we all meet at 8 o'clock? And I'm taking nominations for 8 o'clock destinations. Is that okay with everybody?
It takes being around the scene for a while to understand how to work like that, and that it's by cooperative methods rather than an authoritarian way. And it's so different from the way anything else is run that I think it's at once befuddling, but at another way it's really liberating.
If you go to the front of a critical mass ride during the period of 1994 through 1997, you would see all kinds of people who were not involved in organizing the rides, and had never even thought about how the rides were organized, didn't really ask themselves, why is it that the police are at the front of this ride? And when the police would zoom ahead to block the traffic for us, they would zoom ahead too. And those people weren't there for social activism and political activism, but ironically what made the event so powerful was that it attracted people into that feeling of non-commercial public event that was so exciting to be in, that was such a break from the usual scary streets of San Francisco or scary streets of whatever suburb they came from.